Want to have your clip featured in the Skyrim Clip of the Week? Simply record the clip on your Xbox and then send it to me via message. My gamer tag is iRyeni, that's IRYENI, and then you can message it to me over Xbox and I'll be able to view it. I look forward to seeing the clips that you guys send me. Now moving on to the video. Hey, what's up guys, it's Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of Modded Monday. We're on week number 220 now, guys. I've picked out 5 new mods for you guys to check out, and perhaps add them to your load order if you find them interesting. But like always, before we jump into them, I want to remind you guys that I'm partnered with Gamersups, which in my opinion is the best energy drink on the market. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, be sure to check the description where you'll find a link to their store page, and you can also use the code RTD for a 10% discount on all your purchases. I also want to say don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss any future mods each and every single week. But now that all that's out of the way, we can jump into this week's mods, and starting us off we have a really fun mod called the Skyrim Obstacle Course. Now I've never covered a mod like this, but this adds an actual obstacle course that spreads across the skies of Skyrim. Now the course starts above Whiterun, and the way to actually get up there is you head over to the sign by the Whiterun stables. As you can see, I did that in the beginning there, and it'll just teleport you right up to the top where you can get started going right, straight, or left. And these different directions go all the way to Riften, Windhelm, Winterhold, Morthul, Solitude, Markarth, Castle Volokar, Riverwood, and even Ivarstead. Yeah, you can travel to all of these different cities entirely through the sky through a giant obstacle course. So there was a lot of time and effort put into this mod to make sure that these actually spanned across the entire world. And you don't have to worry about, oh, what if I'm on the ground and I look up? Aren't I just going to see a giant obstacle course floating throughout the entire sky? Well, that's actually not the case, because the way Skyrim works is it only will load in objects that are closer to you. So since the obstacle course is so high up in the air, even if you're down on the ground, you will not be able to see the obstacle course just running normally. This is what's really good about this mod, and something that you can keep installed instead of just installing it to play it by itself and then delete. This is actually a mod that you can keep in your load order, and maybe when you get bored you can go to the obstacle course, get some new loot, because there's actual loot that you can get from doing this obstacle course as well. There's a bunch of chests scattered throughout a bunch of the areas that you can go to, and there's also multiple boss fight locations over certain areas as well. And all of the chests that spawn have random loot, so each one you open will be different and have lots of goodies. You also find gold, potion, weapons, and complete rare armor sets along the paths as well. You may also find some previously unusable weapons that only NPCs could use, but now you can use them too. But of course all of this treasure isn't undefended, because you'll fight Dragger, bandits, dragons, Dwemer, Spriggans, werewolves, lurkers, seekers, trolls, vampires, gargoyles, giants, and even more up in the sky here. So of course a mod like this holds no lore whatsoever, but not every mod has to do that. I really love mods that just make the game a lot more fun, and this mod definitely does that, the Skyrim Obstacle Course. So if you're interested in turning Skyrim into a Ninja Warrior type game, then the Skyrim Obstacle Course is definitely a mod I'd recommend downloading, and that's why it's featured here at our number 5 spot, so I'd recommend downloading it and seeing if you can conquer this course yourself. Coming in at our number 4 spot, we have the Steed's Watch Homestead, which is a beautiful player home that's on a misty overlook near the border of Whiterun and the Reach. You can experience breathtaking views of the Whiterun Plains, seeing as far as Rorikstead to the northwest and Fort Greymore to the east. This mod includes all of the necessary crafting stations, such as an alchemy table, an enchanting table, a blacksmith forge, armor workbench, a weapon grindstone, a smelter, cooking pot, tanning rack, and wood chopping block, but it also includes horse stables, a hot tub, an outhouse, a shrine of Kinnereth, a garden with hearthfire planters, and even named storage for every item imaginable. Now this mod also comes with a short little quest mod that brings you down into the mine and gives you access to the personal armory, and to get this started you simply just need to check the desks next to the bed in the main house for the journal describing the quest and backstory. And around the base of the rocks in the front of the homestead is the mine entrance. So you'll have to go complete the quest in order to receive the key for the armory, and there's also another hidden room somewhere around the exterior of the house that further explores the backstory of the homestead and mine. Finally, the map marker you're able to travel to right off the bat, and you can then have access to this beautiful new player home. Now, as you can see, of course this is a very small house mod, but I really love how they built it into the mountain here and had it its own little slice of Skyrim. You know, it's not really around any other buildings, and it's kind of out of its way, and you really feel like you have your own little private area up in the mountains here, and you don't really need that much room. You do have all of the stuff that you're going to need, such as all of the crafting stations like I said, and even the extra stuff such as the garden with the hearthfire planters, and even the hot tub I thought was really impressive how they were able to fit that in there. But with the mine also being a part of the house and having an armory in the mine, I really like that as well. With the very small amount of space that they gave themselves to work with here, I think they did a great job in furnishing it and actually building a proper house into the mountains here. So if you just began a new playthrough and you're maybe looking for a new house mod that'll be good for starter characters, then the Steed's Watch Homestead is definitely a mod I'd recommend downloading because it features everything that you're going to need, and it's very close to where you start the game as well, and it's not too big and doesn't give you too much stuff that it's going to be completely broken for you, so it's a perfect little starter house for you, and that's definitely why it's featured here at our number 4 spot, so I'd strongly recommend downloading the Steed's Watch Homestead mod. Coming in at our number 3 spot, we have a brand new weapon mod pack called the PrivateEye Armory. Now this is actually a combination of the Heavy Armory and Royal Armory mods that we've covered in the past, with their respective upgrades. Heavy Armory adds over 100 new weapons that will appear throughout the game, equipped by enemies and available to loot in chests, and these weapons can be enchanted, including the Summer Mist enchantment as well if you have the mod. Now with these new 100 weapons, you have things like halberds, hatchets, tridents you can craft now, short swords. There's a bunch of new unique things that you can craft in each different section, whether it be iron, steel, dwarven, daedric, etc. There's so many new types of weapons that you can have that your arsenal will pretty much just quadruple in size with how many options you have here. Now the Royal Armory mod, however, adds unique weapons to the most important characters in Skyrim. This means that, you know, General Tullius won't just have a regular steel sword, he'll have a unique sword with special enchantments. Same with Jarl Balgruuf, he'll have his own unique weapon that he carries around, and maybe even Ulfric's Stormcloak as well. So in total we have 5 mods that are included in this weapon mod pack, those of which are Heavy Armory new weapons, Heavy Armory enchanted, and then the Royal Armory new artifacts as well as its plug-in replacer, and finally PrivateEye's Royal Armory reforged. So we have hundreds of new weapons that are at our disposal and completely transform our arsenal in Skyrim, and it's all fitting in one mod, coming in at 33.13 megabytes. This is pretty much a mod you can't pass up if you're looking for some new weapons to use in the game. And that's definitely why PrivateEye's Armory comes in at our number 3 spot, so I'd strongly recommend downloading it. Coming in at our number 2 spot, we have a brand new combat overhaul called Valravn, Integrated Combat of Skyrim. Now the mod page reads that Valravn is a compact, fully script-free combat overhaul that focuses on the strengths of Skyrim. Not Twitch combat or Dark Souls, but a slower paced game of decisions and consequences. It's also widely compatible with other mods and features combat system rebalances, improved AI, and an increased relevance of stamina. Valravn is the latest evolution in combat overhauls and focuses on the strengths of Skyrim and its systems instead of taking on new systems. It's slower paced and has many balance improvements, stamina is way more important and there's no scripts, and can be installed during your playthrough as well. Now when it comes to these combat AI improvements, NPCs are much more aggressive or defensive depending on their class. They're more likely to power attack through a block, bash to interrupt attacks, circle or fall back, and attack more often in general. This also includes an overhaul of attributes such as health, magicka, and stamina. They regenerate faster, but no longer regenerate immediately after they are spent or drained. Now when it comes to the stamina attribute, however, it's a much more important attribute in combat, and all weapon users should invest at least some points in it. Power attacks and bashes can no longer be performed with just 1 point of stamina, and while blocking costs less of it, drawing a bow now halts stamina regeneration and eventually drains it. Whenever it's fully depleted, the character is slowed down, and the player becomes vulnerable to hard interrupts from stagger attacks just like NPCs. Now these attacks of opportunity, catching an enemy off guard or being caught off guard by an enemy, results in extra damage being dealt with attacks. For instance, attacking a target that's drawing a bow, casting a spell, staggered, power attacking, or disabled will trigger an attack of opportunity and in most cases a devastating critical strike. This doesn't apply to spells though. This mod also goes in to change the movement speed and turn rate, the armor and resistance, how you block in the game, how people get staggered, whenever kill moves trigger, how magic works whenever dual casting, lethality, meaning you'll deal and take more damage at each difficulty level to make combat more impactful, and so much more, all within 69.80 kilobytes. This will completely transform the combat in your Skyrim and you'll have a way more difficult time, but who doesn't like a challenge? If you're looking to really challenge yourself whenever it comes to the combat of Skyrim, then the Valravn integrated combat of Skyrim is definitely a mod I'd recommend trying out, and that's why it's featured here at our number 2 spot, so I'd recommend downloading it and trying out this new combat overhaul for yourself. Coming in at our number 1 spot, we have another amazing new mod pack called the Pinion, Ordinator Perks, Odin Magic, and Quest Reward Bundle. Now this is a huge bundle mod that includes so many different mods inside of it, such as the Ordinator Perks of Skyrim mod of course, which also includes the Thief Rebalance for Ordinator, which modifies the game settings to make thief skills such as sneak, pickpocketing, and lockpicking much more interesting and immersive, but it also dives into the magic side as well with the Odin Magic Overhaul, which you guys all know we've used in the past, but it also includes the improved Clairvoyance spell, there's Pillar and Claw puzzle solving with new shouts, transparent wards, there's no weird glow around characters affected by magic. We have the Andromeda Standing Stone overhaul, as well as the Forceful Tongue Shouts. You also have the Spellsiphon magic combat system option, as well as vanilla spells available as lesser powers, which means you can cast a shout button to keep both of your hands free in combat. There's also an expanded bound weapon armory, such as greatswords, war axes, warhammers, and maces, plus improvements to bound daggers and battle axes. Finally, we have the quest reward improvements, which gives you unleveled vanilla quest rewards, perk points, and more gold for bounty quests. You can now earn special abilities for completing some quests now, and Dragon Priest chests have been vastly improved. Now in total, this mod pack holds 18 amazing mods, all scrunched into 60.30 megabytes, and it should fit anywhere in your load order, and you should make room for this in your load order, because these mods are incredibly useful and completely change the way you play Skyrim. And just the fact that a lot of these mods that are included in this bundle we've actually covered in the past, so a lot of you may already have experience with a lot of these mods, so why not add it to your load order and give it a try? It adds so many new magical spells into the game, as well as so many new perks to try and new rewards to get, it's almost impossible to pass up a mod like this, and that's why it's featured here at our number 1 spot, so I'd strongly recommend downloading the Pinion, Ordinator Perks, Odin Magic, and Quest Reward Bundle mod. So that's pretty much it for this week's episode of the top 5 Skyrim mods of the week. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and if you did, I'd appreciate it if you left a like and subscribe if you're new. It really helps me out a lot. And if you have any suggestions for mods you'd like me to cover in future top 5 mod episodes, be sure to let me know in the comment section below, or you can follow me on Twitter. I'll be sure to leave my Twitter in the description, and you guys can follow me on there and leave me suggestions there as well. Special shout out to my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys have done for me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I will talk to you guys later.